I apologize if the audio quality of this is not great. I'm on the road, and so I need to provide an October update. So first, I'd like to mention that at Blue Fox Insights, we have a new tagline, and I wanted to specifically talk about this because it's really important to the core of who we are and thoughts on our future. So our new tagline is AI Insights for Team Human. Just checking my notes here. AI Insights for Team Human. Now, what does that mean? I would say that all of us are on Team Human because all of us are human. But at the same time, I think that AI is moving so fast that there are decisions being made that are not necessarily fully thought out and may not necessarily align with what's best for all of us that are human beings, right? And I don't say this with the intent to cast any company or any individual in a bad light because I don't ever want to do that. I don't want to villainize people or entities. But I and we want to call out very explicitly that we are at the end of the day here to focus on helping humankind push ahead with regards to our AI future. Now, as part of that statement, with regards to what does that exactly mean? Well, we don't fully know, but all we know is that we want to call that out initially. You know, it's also not maybe you may think something that's anti-business or anti-large corporation or anything like that. Not at all. In fact, one of the biggest companies in the world that I have great respect for specifically is Apple. And one of the things that I love about Apple as a company, and specifically with regards to Tim Cook, in which I have great respect for him, is that he's made it very clear, and I think even prior to him, Steve Jobs made it very clear that they were serious about data privacy for individuals. And to be honest, because of their strong stance on data privacy, that has impacted how quickly they can move with regards to AI, because AI is built on a lot of data that many of us didn't give permission to use. And so I really respect the fact that Apple could have that position with regards to data privacy, but still build a unbelievably big and successful and innovative company. And so what we want to say at Blue Fox Insights is that we're providing AI insights for individuals and specifically also for businesses, which is our main focus. But that we are saying that at the end of the day, we are human and we're part of Team Human. So first and foremost, please know that all of us together, we're on Team Human. Please join us in our Team Human endeavors. And that's going to be our tagline moving forward. So AI Insights for Team Human. The other updates that I'd like to give for this monthly update are basically some thoughts for businesses. And then I want to give thoughts for individuals and or solopreneurs that are out there because I'm meeting more and more people that are kind of starting individual businesses as themselves, but leveraging AI technologies. And then lastly, I want to give a note to parents and then close with some ending thoughts. So for businesses, I have been seeing more and more posts on the internet or videos or companies or analysis that's coming out of various places that are saying that, AI, it's kind of, again, hype and companies are investing all this money into AI and they're not seeing the return and they may never see return. And I just want to throw out some thoughts with regards to kind of balancing these sides, because there's the side that says like, it's unbelievable, invest like all this money. There's side that's saying now saying like, don't invest really too much into it. And obviously the answer is somewhere in the middle. But I want to think about some of the things that I've seen out there and suggest that first, as an example, a recent post from Ethan Mollick, I think this was like over a month ago at this point, where he was suggesting that a lot of people are leveraging AI successfully within companies, but because company policies are not clear, they're not being honest with the fact that they're using Gen AI, for example, within the companies. Now, I'm not saying that they're being dishonest. I'm just saying that because there's lack of clarity with regards to company policies, there's a lot of individuals out there that Ethan has seen that are leveraging these technologies very well, but they don't necessarily, you know, talk about it in their companies because they're kind of afraid because companies don't have policies, which actually makes you think that companies should really be thinking about setting clear policies and incentivizing innovation in this way. But if you're not hearing them from within the company, then definitely the company themselves don't really know from a leadership perspective. And so that you're not hearing this with regards to mass media. So that's one of the first things I want to throw out. Secondly, we just had the announcement of Nobel Prize winners, and there are two Nobel Prize winners that are really notable for AI. Jeffrey Hinton won for physics with regards to his advancements with neural nets, and then Demis Hassabis, I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly, won for chemistry for DeepMind's AI work with regards to protein folding. Now, what's really interesting is that Jeffrey Hinton is not a physicist, and he won the Nobel Prize for physics. And Demis is not a chemist, but he won the Nobel Prize for chemistry. What's my point? My point is AI is having unbelievable impact already in fields in which these individuals are not experts in those fields. And how did they provide Nobel Prize level expertise and advancement for the world? They used AI. And so AI is unbelievably already making impact in this world. And so the thought that maybe you shouldn't really be considering it that much at all as a company is probably a bad idea. Another random thought is that you see these big tech companies investing billions of dollars into AI, which include now buying nuclear power plants. I don't know if you've seen a lot of these stories. Why are they doing that? Are they just rolling the dice and saying, well, let's just put tens of billions of dollars into this and let's take this risk, and we don't really think that we're sure about whether it'll pan out? No, there's very specific reasoning, and especially the rush that companies have with regards to getting to agentic AI levels, advanced levels first. This is absolutely things that they're thinking about. If you don't understand what agentic AI is, please check out my course, The New AI Era for Business. I talk about agentic AI in that course. And then I'll say lastly with regards to, two things with regards to businesses. Lastly, the first thing is, another thing that we're seeing is that businesses are still struggling with figuring out how to apply these newer Gen AI technologies to their company private data in a way that's bringing value. And so I think my course using Gen AI with your company data is still pretty valid and still pretty up to date. And one of the big takeaways from that course is that a lot of this Gen AI connection to your private company data, the techniques involved are still not fully proven out. They're still, a bit immature. Now, people talk a lot about RAG and retrieval augmented generation. The reality is, although it's being marketed as figured out and like it works now, it doesn't perfectly work. And we've seen this, time and time again with various implementations, that it's not perfect. And I don't think companies are going to take big jumps until this technology is more mature. So the most recent course that we just released is a course that I made that is called, let's see, it's the name of the course, but it's sorry, but it is an AI roadmap for your company and how you can do it in a smarter way, which basically comes from our experience working with companies and advising them and then helping them find, solutions to implement, but doing it in a way where it's high impact probability for as low cost and resource commitment initially as possible. So how can we do this in phases to allow for a business to be able to prototype and build out, but not committing a ton of resources and a ton of money and testing things out from kind of smaller to larger risk and impact. And so check out that new course if you're a business leader and you're trying to think through, how do I do this whole AI thing for my business, but in a responsible way and in a way that'll help us to show value and show results early on without having to commit extreme amounts of cost and resources. Okay, to the individuals, to the solopreneurs out there, I'm realizing that there seems to be this mass growth of people that are kind of trying to do AI side businesses while working, or people that are just straight up trying to just do an AI thing by themselves, and are not working another job and just going for it. And I'm seeing more and more people like this as I go speak at different places. I'm meeting more and more people like this. And so I think this is going to be a thing moving forward. And I don't fully know what that means with regards to all the different ecosystems online. I'm sure there'll be a lot of businesses that pop up to help support all of these solopreneurs, kind of like when before there were a ton of like social media influencers. It wasn't really this accepted thing, but now it's like whole products and whole kind of industry concepts focus around YouTube influencers or TikTok influencers and these things. And I think we're going to have AI solopreneurs that are going to be popping up more and more, and there will be need for services and products to kind of support this new trend. With that said, I also noticed that there's a lot more people that are interested in getting started, which is really getting started in AI, which is really heartening for me. And so I just wanted to announce that at Blue Fox Insights, I'm creating this new article series, or I've already started this new article series that is called Get Started with AI Now, right? And the whole point is I'm not going to tell you very specific things that are going to be outdated within weeks, because that's the kind of stuff that's currently on YouTube, but rather I'm going to give you overall framework principles that should hold true for quite a while, because I have a fairly good understanding of this technology, of AI technology, and that I will give you basically wisdom as to how, if you haven't started at all yet, how to get started and how to progress your growth with regards to becoming more efficient and more successful using AI technologies, and specifically, especially Gen AI technologies. But I just want to emphasize that you have to put the work in. That I keep, and I'm actually here and doing another speaking engagement at this location. And one of the things that I'm really encouraging people constantly is you got to get started now, and you got to put time in to learn these technologies, because this is not a technology that you can just kind of learn overnight. You have to put in, as I guess people in Pittsburgh that play hockey say, you got to put the stick time in. You got to put practice in, because it's the only way that you're really going to become better and more efficient in all these things. And then lastly, I want to talk to the parents out there, because again, I get contacted a lot by parents, by K through 12 educators. So for parents, I think you have to start considering how to start your kids in tinkering with this stuff. And, I'll write about this actually in my next article, in the article series, but you may need to start creating a budget in your household for AI tools, because you do not want to have your family members using the free tools like free ChatGPT, because it's taking all of your data, and it's using your data to train its models. And that could be a huge security and privacy, issue for you all. And so you need to consider, I think you need to consider getting your kids tinkering around with this, buying a paid version of some of these softwares like ChatGPT or Anthropic Claude or Google Gemini, whichever ones that you choose. And then you need to start thinking about how to train up your kids through this. And part of that is going to be training up yourself, which is, again, you got to get some time in with these programs and just do it and try it. Now, another thing that recently happened was, I obviously have, if it's not obvious, I have a heart for children learning AI. And so I got connected with a lot of K through 12 within the Pittsburgh area. And, to be honest, I felt bad charging a whole lot or even charging at all for a lot of these engagements. And so what ended up happening then was I got basically, my schedule started filling up with all of these local K through 12 speaking engagements. And so recently, unfortunately, I've had to basically say no, because it's impeding, especially my job at Pitt, which, we've got a huge vision at Pitt, and a lot of leaders at Pittsburgh, to make Pittsburgh an AI epicenter of the world. And so I need time to work on that through my Pitt roles. as well as doing work like this for insights more globally. And so because of that, I unfortunately have had to say no moving forward with a lot of these engagements and or, raise speaking fees, uh, somewhat radically. But that's all in efforts to give me more time to work on the things that are having impact within Pittsburgh, within the community at Pitt, but also giving me time to continue to also put my stick time into this technology. Because just because I have degrees that focus on these things, that doesn't mean that I really understand what's happening now in the cutting edge. And so I have to personally be constantly reading and constantly prototyping with these technologies, and I need time to do that. Now, with that said, um, I think what I'll try to do as I provide content in Blue Fox Insights, I will try to continue to put my thoughts into my content with regards to K through 12 when I can, as well as for parents. And one thing that I am planning on doing in the coming weeks is to have a live webinar through Blue Fox Insights that will basically be a presentation on my thoughts for what parents may need to consider moving forward with regards to AI and their children. And so, that webinar, I think we'll make it free. It'll be live, and we hope that people can attend that as you find time and availability. So with that said, I am going to close with a story, and hopefully this story can be encouraging for you all. I was recently speaking at another conference, and prior to my speaking slot, I was, part of the cocktail reception, and I sat down with these two individuals, young individuals that, were sitting and talking and eating, and I just asked if I could join them. And there was this one young lady that was sitting there, and I started to listen to her story. And basically, what she was saying was that she was in customer service, and she looks like she's in her 20s, so she's quite young, with zero kind of tech background. And then she decided to make a pivot to become a software developer. And she did the work. She put work in to do online training, boot camps, these kind of things. And now she's a software developer. And it was a really inspiring story for me because I was thinking, man, it's pretty hard to make that pivot from being non-tech into tech. And I told her, I said, let's call her Megan. It's not her real name, but let's just call her Megan. I told her, Megan, I just want to tell you that what you did, going from, not being in software development and then training up and becoming a software developer, that was such, I'm sure, a hard move for you. It was probably very difficult. It was very bold, but what you did was you proved to yourself that you could do that you could transform in that way. And then I said to her, Megan, not her real name, then Megan, you're going to need to now look at what's happening with regards to AI and software engineering. But I'm telling you right now that you already have the skills and the ability to make whatever transition you need to make because you made the harder transition prior to having to look at this AI thing, that you made this crazy transition from not being a software developer to being a software developer. And now you're going to successfully, I told her, and told her, I hope we can stay in contact, make this transition from being a software developer to be an AI empowered software developer and whatever comes next in her career. And as I think about Megan, I think that all of us have to consider, whether we're young or whether we're old, with regards to our careers or if we're still in school, with regards to our schooling, as to the fact that all of us need to be thinking about what does the evolution of my next years look like as AI is changing jobs, as AI is changing capabilities, as AI is changing the world. What does my evolution look like? And I have to be open to that. I have to be pushing ahead rather than trying to see if I can wait this thing out or see if it just passes and nothing changes. I don't think that's smart. I think that there's just too much happening right now for us not to take a lesson from Megan. And so I was really encouraged by her. It pushed me to push even harder with regards to my evolution and my growth. And I really hope that it pushes you all to consider the same. Because again, as we provide AI insights for Team Human, we need to help all of us as Team Human push ahead and move ahead together. And so I'm game to keep pushing ahead, and I hope you're willing to keep up with us and join us in Team Human here at Blue Fox Insights. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your month.